So I'm Naveed. I'm a rising sophomore at Saratoga High School, and I made a remote control robot that doesn't hit obstacles. So as you can see, the base project was an obstacle avoiding robot, which I then modified to make it remote controlled. I chose this project because I like RC cars, and making them not hit obstacles is pretty cool. I used an ultrasonic sensor which emits sound waves and determines the distance to an object based on how long it takes for the sound wave to come back. I also have it pivot on a servo, as you can see in the front of the robot. So the robot can detect any obstacle in front of it, even if it's really small. So the first modification I made was the custom controller, as you can see right here. This comprised of a 3D printed case, 2 potentiometers to control the steering and throttle of the robot, and an ESP32, which sends Bluetooth signals to the car. Along with the custom controller, I also made a new 3D printed chassis, as you can see here, which has steering similar to an actual car, where the original was more similar to a tank. As you can see, the front wheels can change direction, can spin in multiple directions, which allows it to turn. The hardest parts of the project were learning about all the different electrical components, debugging electrical issues, and making the custom car chassis. And my favorite part of the project was learning, was having the freedom to do whatever I wanted with it, and my instructor would support me. I learned a lot about the debugging process and how to design something in a way that would be strong, but also light at the same time. And I learned I like mechanical and electrical engineering, which I want to do more of in the future. Any questions?
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit more about like how you built that controller? Because it looked really cool, and I know kind of how that controller works, but I don't know if everyone else knows, and it's just something truly spectacular.
Okay, so what I have in the controller is, so I mentioned I use 2 potentiometers, and I have, so one of them for throttle, I used, so the potentiometer, it basically, what it does, it allows you to, when you rotate it, it'll know that it's rotating. So you can kind of like, you can use that, I use the potentiometer, and the potentiometer will read a value, and that'll send it to the car to tell how fast it'll go. And I also have another thing, I use springs to make the potentiometer be able to kind of zero itself out. So when I release the potentiometer, it'll go back to the 0 position. So it'll automatically stop the car if I let go of it. And for steering, I just took the potentiometer and kind of tilted it 90 degrees. So now I can use that, and when I turn the potentiometer one way, the car will know to turn that way, and then when I turn it the other way, the car will turn it the other way. And so I mentioned the ESP32. It has an integrated Bluetooth module, which allows it to send signals to the car, and that's what I use so I don't have to have any wires from the controller to the car.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Great job.